Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us for this month's episode of Live from the Trevor Zoo. It's great to welcome you all to the zoo. Before we get into today's show, we again just want to thank all of the people who have visited the zoo since we reopened to the public on July 13th. In order to continue our conservation programs, we rely heavily on income from public visitation, so we really appreciate you guys out there. If you've been to the zoo in person lately, thank you. If you'd like to visit the zoo, we are open every day and you can make a reservation on our website at trevorzoo.org. I'm Justin DeFour from Millbrook's class of 2021. Along with my classmates Amber Hatfield and Peter Lyon, I'm one of the head student curators this year at the Trevor Zoo. I've been working at the zoo since I arrived at Millbrook in the fall of 2017. I started as a Zooey my third form, or freshman year. And last year I became a curator, and this year I'm one of the heads. Working here is a big responsibility, and being a curator means we get to help teach the younger students how the zoo works and how to take care of the animals. The zoo is Millbrook's largest community service program, and just about every day, about 60 students come over to work at the zoo to help feed, clean, and provide enrichment for our animals. When I'm not at the zoo, I participate in football and engineering. In my free time, I like to read, play video games, or tour friends around the zoo. Right now, I'm in the process of applying to colleges and thinking about what comes after Millbrook, in which I plan to study engineering. Today, we are going to talk about my favorite animals at the Trevor Zoo, our Keas. The Kea, also known by their Latin name of Nestor notabilis, is the world's only alpine parrot. In the wild, they are found in the forested and alpine regions of the South Island of New Zealand. Keas are known for their intelligence and curiosity, both vital to their survival in a harsh mountain environment. They can solve logical puzzles such as pushing and pulling things in a certain order to get food, and will work together to achieve a certain objective. They've even been filmed preparing and using tools. Now an uncommon and an endangered species, the Kea was once killed for bounty due to concerns by the sheep farming community that it attacked livestock, especially sheep. In 1986, Keas received full protection under the Wildlife Act of New Zealand. Just a reminder, please feel free to ask questions throughout today's episode. Just type them in the comments and we'll answer them towards the end of the show. In 2002, we received our first Keas at the Trevor Zoo, Sophia and Ernesto. They were both here for about 10 years. In 2010, Penny arrived, and in 2012, Toa joined her. Then in 2019, Admiral Akbar took Toa's place when he was transferred to Zoo New England in Massachusetts. Penny is our current female, and she was born at the Woodland Park Zoo in 2001. That makes her 19 years old. Addie, which is what we call Admiral Akbar, was born at the Cincinnati Zoo in 2014 and came to us from Natural Encounters in Winter Haven, Florida. We are hoping that Penny and Addie will have some offspring, and last year Penny did have 2 separate clutches of 2 eggs each. We incubated 2 of the eggs and left 2 with her, but unfortunately, none of the eggs were fertile and they didn't hatch, but we will keep trying. The Kea is a large parrot about 19 inches long and weighs around 2 pounds. It has mostly olive green plumage with the gray beak having a long, narrow, curved upper beak. It has orange feathers on the undersides of its wings. It has a short, broad, bluish-green tail with a black tip. The olive green plumage offers great camouflage for the mountainous habitat Keas live in. The males are slightly larger than the females. The juveniles generally resemble adults, but have yellow eye rings and an orange-yellow lower beak and gray-yellow legs. The Kea is one of the 10 endemic parrot species in New Zealand. They range from lowland river valleys and coastal forests of the South Island's west coast up to the alpine regions of the South Island, such as Mount Cook National Park. Current population estimates suggest that between 3,000 and 7,000 individuals are left in the wild. Kea are social and live in groups of up to 13 birds. A gathering or group of Keas is called the circus. Breeding at heights of 5,000 feet above sea level and higher, it is one of the few parrot species in the world to regularly spend time above the tree line. Nest sites are usually positioned on the ground, but underneath large beech trees, in rock crevices, or dug burrows between roots. They are accessed by tunnels leading back into a larger chamber, which is furnished with moss, ferns, and rotting wood. The laying period starts in July and reaches into January. 2 to 5 white eggs are laid, with an incubation time of around 21 days and a brooding period of 94 days. Mortality is high among young Kea, with less than 40% surviving their first year. The median lifespan of a wild subadult Kea has been estimated at 5 years. Around 10% of the Kea population were estimated to be over 20 years of age. The oldest known captive Kea was 50 years of age. An omnivore, the Kea feeds on more than 40 plant species, beetle, larvae, other birds, and mammals including sheep and rabbits. The Kea will also take advantage of human garbage and gifts of food. Their large curved beaks allow them to manipulate objects well and to penetrate into crevices for larvae or in flowers for nectar. The controversy about whether the Kea preys on sheep is long running. Sheep suffering from unusual wounds on their sides or loins were noticed by the mid-1860s, within a decade of sheep farmers moving into the high country. Although some suppose the cause was a new disease, suspicion soon fell on the Kea. In August 1992, however, its nocturnal assaults were captured on video, proving that at least some Kea will attack and feed on healthy sheep. The video confirmed what many scientists had long suspected, that the Kea uses its powerful curved beak and claws to rip through the layer of wool and eat the fat from the back of the animal. Since Kea are now a protected species, their depredations are generally tolerated by sheep farmers, though why some Kea attack sheep and others do not remains unclear. Okay, so now let's have a look at our Kea exhibit and see how we care for Penny and Addie. Okay, here we are in the infirmary kitchen where we prepare some of the diets for the animals. Right now, I'm going to prepare the diets for the Keas, and we all get a small diet card so that we know what we're going to make. So, I'm going to start with the half cup of Parrot maintenance. We get half a cup per bowl. And then they get 1/2 cup of mixed fruits and vegetables. So I'm gonna cut them half a cup of pear and half a cup of orange. Sometimes we give them fruit, sometimes they get vegetables, such as carrot, sweet potato, banana, apples, plums, kiwis. And sometimes it'll get mixed up. And for other items like enrichment, they'll get, every now and then they'll get like cereal, make sure that it's appropriate for them to eat. Or even mealworms, peanuts, browse, ensure. Okay. Next, they both get half a leaf of lettuce. Too big. And then they get 3 peanuts each. And 5 more mealworms. Their PM diet is also the same as their AM diet, so they get the same diet in the afternoon. And we're done. Now for their enrichment, they're going to get more peanuts added into the pumpkin. And because Keas are really smart birds, they'll be able to find the peanuts hidden in the pumpkin. All right, and we're all set. I'm gonna eat the pumpkin. So here we are outside of the Kea exhibit, where we're gonna start to feed the Keas. So our Keas are protected contact species, which means we're not allowed to be in the exhibit at the same time as them. So right now, we currently have both of them separated and locked in. He's down. So, as you can see, the Keas are a bit messy with their food. They like to dip their food in the water. They think it's dry. And generally, they'll take their food and eat it in places where they think it's comfortable. So I'm gonna empty their water. There's 4 bowls. Okay. And now, gonna sweep out the 2 spaces so that we can get ready to wash it and clean it. Alright. Oh, looks like Addie decided to join us. So now, I'm gonna rinse down their exhibits, or their keeper areas, so that there's no more dirt on the floor. Their food, their water, and then we can close these up and let them back in. Right now, I'm shifting the Keas back in so that they can get to their food, their water, and their enrichment. Right now, it looks like neither of them would like to. And now I'm gonna clean up the keeper area so that whoever cleans the Keas next isn't tripping over it. So here we are outside of the main part of the Kea exhibit. So we're gonna head in and prepare to put their enrichment down. We put down enrichment because it's important for animals to stay healthy and active, especially in these times where there aren't too many visitors. Is it? Oh. So here we have a pumpkin with peanuts hidden in it. So I'm gonna set the pumpkin down on this rock so that they can eventually burrow through the pumpkin and find their peanuts. Now this exhibit was first made for snow monkeys that we used to keep here at the zoo. But later we eventually moved the Keas in here, so we now have all the water running for them. And now they hang out on the rocks and on the branches. The Kea's notorious urge to explore and manipulate makes this bird both a pest for residents and attractions for tourists in New Zealand. Called the clown of the mountains, it will investigate backpacks and even small cars, often causing damage or flying off at smaller items. People commonly encounter wild Kea at South Island ski areas where they are attracted by the prospect of food scraps. Their curiosity leads them to peck and carry away unguarded items of clothing or to pry apart rubber parts of cars. to the entertainment and annoyance of human observers. A Kea has even been reported to have made off with a tourist passport while he was visiting Fiordland National Park. From the late 1800s, local councils and the New Zealand government paid a bounty for Kea bills because the bird preyed upon livestock, mainly sheep. It was intended that hunters would kill Kea only on the farm and council areas that paid the bounty, but some hunted them in national parks and in Westland, where they were officially protected. More than 150,000 were killed in the 100 years before 1970 when the bounty was lifted. Today, lead poisoning, mostly from the roofs of buildings and building materials, is also a significant cause of premature deaths among the Kea. Research conducted by Victoria University in 2008 confirmed that the natural curiosity of Kea, which has enabled the species to adapt to its extreme environment, may increase its propensity to poisoning through ingestion of lead. For example, the more investigative behaviors identified in a bird, the higher its blood lead levels were likely to be. Also, despite being classified as nationally endangered in New Zealand threat classification system and in the IUCN Red List and protected by law, Kea are still deliberately shot. A citizen science project called the Kea Database was launched in 2017 that allows for the recording of Kea observations to an online database. Kea conservation is supported by the NGO Kea Conservation Trust, founded in 2006 to protect Kea. You can visit their website at www.keaconservation.co.nz. Here's a look. You can also find a number of interesting videos on YouTube about Keas, and we'll post a link to those in the show's description. Okay, so let's hear your questions and I will try to answer them to the best of my ability. If you have any questions about our Kea or anything else at the zoo or Millbrook School, just go ahead and ask in the comments here. Okay, so our first question is from Scott. How does a bird eat sheep? From what we know, the Kea doesn't kill the sheep. They just have a strong curved beak and strong talons that help them pry open the wool to reach the fat. And they would eat the sheep because, well, there's not really any protein and fat up where in the mountains where Keas live. So, like, having been introduced to sheep and them being smart enough to realize that they can eat the sheep, they would just go ahead and eat the sheep. All right, and our next question is from the Hudson Valley Reptile and Rescue, and their question is, do they have any natural predators? As babies, yes, the Keas do have some predators because invasive species have been introduced into New Zealand in order for them to clear out like rabbits and mice, but unfortunately, those species have become problems to the Kea. For example, the stoat, which is like a weasel, it's a weasel-like animal. They're threats to the Kea as babies. And actually, before there had been like any settlements in New Zealand, there were no like land-based mammals except for bats in New Zealand. So there was nothing that could really hunt the Kea. Right. I guess that's all for our questions today. So, if you've enjoyed this episode, I'd like to remind you all that you can view all of our previous episodes of Live from the Trevor Zoo on our YouTube channel, which is at youtube.com/Trevor Zoo Millbrook. And you can also watch our streaming cameras throughout the zoo 24 hours a day at www.millbrook.org/Trevor Zoo Live. Thanks for spending part of your Wednesday with us. If you are in the area, please come visit us in person. It is easy to make a reservation at our website, which is www.trevorzoo.org. We'll see you back here live from the Trevor Zoo next month. Thanks for watching, be well, and we hope to see you soon.